March 26, 2024. History has been made. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Pole Father, and I proudly say it only takes one. The motto is it only takes one. So for those of you guys that are new to this channel or watching this video for about quite some time now, maybe 2 years or so, I've been after, about a year and a half, but I've been after, I've had a goal of mine, and quite honestly, you know, a dream a little bit, was completing the first ever first edition CGC 10 base set Pokemon Shadowless set. And as of March 26, 2024, ladies and gentlemen, we have done it. I can finally announce that the set is fully complete, that the first ever CGC 10 set is completed. I can't believe it. It's definitely crazy looking back in this entire journey. It's over. You know, I definitely am going to miss the entire process because that's where all the fun is, guys. I can't say this enough. Yet I'm very, very happy to look at the entire set and to really look upon all the 10s and saying like, wow, like this is incredible. But believe me, I mean, though the journey is over, there's parts of it I miss because there was a constant drive, a constant, you know, look and chase, but the chase is finally over. But I'm finally excited to announce that the set's completed, and I can't believe it. Very humbled, very exhausting, very exhausted doing it. But a couple things I want to share with you guys with this video. Just every card I really truly feel has its own story, and it's kind of crazy because it's kind of fun in a way. It kind of gives the set integrity, it gives the set definition, and that's kind of one thing I really emphasize for any collector out there is, you know what? Yeah, anyone can actually go out there and complete a PSA 10 set, CGC 10 set, whatever kind of set you want to do. But at the end of the day, a thing for me is, especially with the grading world about, oh, this card is, you know, 9, 9.5, 10, or whatever it may be, set integrity to your standards is probably one of the most important things today's day and age. Everyone has different bias standards on grading cards and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, this is going to be your collection. So you got to really make sure it really meets your standards. And whatever you collect, guys, whatever set you're after, or maybe you only collect a certain type of Pokemon, you know, that's one thing I emphasize a lot is make sure it fits your standards because it's your set at the end of the day. But I really want to go into a couple of the cards here, and I kind of want to show the set. I'm going to show it on CGC. Here we go here. So I'm just it's very mind-blowing. I can't believe it that every little spot says 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to finally say we've done it. But every card has a story, and you can almost click I can click any card and kind of tell you how the deal got done, how it was found. And I really want to emphasize it, you know, especially with the whole 9.5 conversion to 10 deal. You know, there were a ton of 9.5s out there that definitely had that 9.5 centering or 9.5 edge or corners. But I really took my time to really, you know, pick out each card specifically to make sure it really fit my standards and my integrity of my set. Because like I said, anyone can just go out there and kind of just buy 10s like crazy and go, voila, a set is done. But for me, it really wasn't about that. Yes, completing a 10 set was definitely a goal and a dream, but it was making sure that, hey, this is going to be a 10 set and this is my 10 set. And I didn't want anyone to be questioning anything or anything like that. So and really just for something me to enjoy. So anyways, scroll through the Hall of Fame. So got all your hollows in a 10 right here. And one hollow I'm going to highlight, and actually everyone's going to kind of be a little sideways shocked about this, but I can safely say the hardest hollow for me to acquire was the Ninetales. The Ninetales was extremely difficult to find. I pulled my hair out looking for this card. It was in the last 4 cards I was looking for. At the time I was looking for this card, there was only 3. I remember reaching out to the one person that had it. I heard nothing back. It was difficult. It was very difficult. And then, you know, like I said, you know, no one's going to go out and buy a PSA 10 to convert in. Like, no, it's just, that's not the way I wanted to do things, was to buy 10s and convert it. Now, when it came down to the last bit of common cards, I did kind of go into bull rush mode. So then I really started kind of going into some 10s and buying and so forth. But I would safely say my least favorite part about the journey was the end, because after I acquired the Ninetales at the end, it was kind of just really filling the pieces, and to really just kind of knock it out, I started buying PSA 10s to really finish it off. But surprisingly enough, guys, and this was actually quite one of the interesting things, some of the PSA 10s I bought did not cross over to CGC 10s. And that's where things got actually kind of challenging. I was going, oh man, like this actually is not going to be a lot easier than I thought. Thankfully, there was only 12 more cards I needed of common cards. So it wasn't anything crazy. But the hardest card, and I'm going to kind of scroll down here and kind of keep showing. The hardest card that, I can't believe I'm saying this, other than the Ninetales for the Hollows, the hardest card for me to find was the first edition Professor Oak. Oh man, I must have hit up, for a Professor Oak first edition, I must have hit up almost, conservatively speaking, 60, aggressively speaking, 100. I can show you the message logs on Instagram asking so many people in the hobby, do you have this Oak? Do you have a Professor Oak? Do you have a Professor Oak? Do you have a Professor Oak? At one point, one guy's like, I have one, but it's a gray stamp. And I was just like, oh man, you gotta be kidding me. And you know, I've still had to go find myself a true 10 regular Professor Oak. One person even messaged me and said, hey, I found your Oak. And I remember that day he told me, hey, I found your Oak. And I jumped out of my chair. I was like, oh my God, it's over. I'm finally gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And the person goes, no, I think I'm just gonna keep it for myself. And my face just went, really? Really? And if you watch this video, you know who you are. I'm calling you out. It's kind of, not really, but it kind of makes part of the story and the journey, but it is what it is. But yeah, going through the 10, stuff like that. All these cards have a crazy story to it. And that's just kind of like the fun part of it all is every single card here has a cool story. So this one actually was one of the last ones I needed too. I'll show it off. The Doduo, and it scored a pristine 10. That was pretty cool. But here's jump to the next page. I would say, gosh, going through all these. It's funny, I'm going through all the stories in my head saying, oh, I talked to this person or I got this card here. But just looking at the set, finally finished, going through just going 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. It's crazy. It's just kind of, and you know what? I really, at the end of the day, I wanted to do something different. And, you know, since the beginning, I've always been that type of person to do something different. I'm not the type of person to kind of do what everyone else is doing with the trends and everyone's buying this and everything. I tend to flow a different direction and kind of do my own thing in a way. And I'm really glad I really stuck to my guns on this because a lot of people were just kind of saying, are you crazy? Are you crazy? And I was just like, no, I'm just kind of having fun. And again, like that's kind of the whole point of this is kind of having fun with this because it's your set and your collection. Oh, this was a cool one. I'm going to point this card out right here, the Pokey Flute. So this one's a fun story. So I reached out to a great vendor, very reputable. A lot of people know. I'm not going to name any names for any reasons, but this person had this card in 9.5 with all 9.5 subgrades. I bought many items from this person before in the past, and the person actually would not let it go. So then I did some more researching. I ended up finding one on eBay, and believe it or not, this card, no, not that card. This card, the person said they lost it. And I was just like, you got to be kidding me. And they canceled the sale. But what's interesting enough is I learned that even a canceled sale on eBay still shows through as a sale. So that I didn't really, I mean, I know you learn something new every day in this hobby and stuff like that. But that really was really discouraging a little bit. Now, I know I always say it wrong, 0.180, 0.160 or whatever it is. But I know that's a little more accurate stuff. But that was something a little discouraging I saw on eBay. But anyways, about this card, I reached out to the person. I said, hey, look, you know, I was willing to pay a premium for this card. Were you willing to match it? And the person said, I told him what happened. And the grace of everything, he accepted the offer and we went forward with the deal. So that was a cool card. But let's go back, actually. I'm going to point out this story. This was a good one. The Growlithe. Well, that was a crazy story. So not this one specifically, but I bought the Growlithe from the same person, and originally I had found one online, and the deal went through. And when it went through the authentication process, the slab was cracked down the middle. So I actually reached out to the person and said, "Hey, look, like, if you can send to CGC, like, you know, like I'll match the same price, and we can get the deal done." And the person was just moving a little slow for my pace that I wanted to, especially being at the wire. So, fortunately enough, I messaged the same person and they honored the same deal I was originally worth paying on this card. So, fun story on that one. But every single common card has its own story. The Machoke, actually, this was actually funny because There's also another person that is trying to complete the first edition 10 set, and they're very close too. But first edition Machoke was being auctioned on Heritage, and I actually messaged that person, and he asked me, he said, "Hey, are you after this card?" And I told him no. And he goes, "Okay, because I'm definitely going to pick this one up." But ironically enough, I believe, I don't know who, but I don't know who was out there, but somebody was definitely pumping this card, hoping that it would go through for the other person, I think. Not cool. Definitely not cool. That made the other person kind of pay a premium for it. But I didn't bid on it. So, yeah. Yeah, not really happy about that on Heritage. But anyways, going through the more positive stuff. But every card has its fun story. Let's go back to the holos. The Charizard, I have a whole video on this one. This is an awesome card. I can't stop looking at this baby. This is a good one. A shout out to you, Kanto. Man, every card has its story. This one actually I picked up at Miami TCG Con a long time ago. Actually, the first year Miami TCG Con. And back then it was a 9.5 with all 9.5 subgrades. Picked it up for a great deal. This is a cool, really clean card. The Machamp, this is a good one too. So back but the day before my wedding, I got married in Windsor, Ontario in Canada. And the day before my wedding, I was supposed to do some wedding stuff. And I told my wife, I said, "Hey, I'm actually going to go get lunch with someone." And for those of you guys who don't know, Josh Green, YouTube channel is The Green Shiz. And we met up and got the deal done for the first edition Machamp. So, you know, every card just kind of has its story. And even, gosh, all of them. You know, I actually thought for a while that the Nidoking would actually be a tough one to find, but I got really lucky on this one, picking this card up when it popped up. And that was a pullback from North Carolina. Gosh, the Venusaur is a great story. Also picked this up at Miami TCG Con, first time ever. Back when it was a 9.5, with all the strong 9.5 subgrades. Every card just kind of has its own story, and that's what makes the set unique. The Porygon was a fun one. The Raticate was a fun one as well. Let's jump to the last page. The Water Energy I actually purchased from TCA Gaming. I'll mention that one out there. A lot of good ones. The a lot of good ones. There's the not the Imposter Professor Oak, but in my eyes, the hardest card it took me to pick up this set. But oh boy, that card will always forever be the hardest one for me to pick up. The Fire Energy, Pristine Fire Energy. The Lightning Energy used to belong to, you guys know, Yummies. I bought it off PWCC. But anyways, like every card has its own story, and I can really rabble on about every single one, but just kind of my mind goes all over the place and looking at all of them. I got to kind of just focus on one, tell the story about it all. But it was a really fun process, and you know, it's kind of sad that it's all over, because even when it was picking up one card and, you know, adding to the collection, it was kind of like a, you know, an achievement. I was like, yes, we're getting closer, we're getting closer. But in the end, just came kind of a bull rush. It was like time to finish, time to finish, time to finish. And it almost became kind of overwhelming and kind of consumed, like, you know, 90% of my day, just kind of messaging people left and right, looking for the card, looking for the card. And I just could not believe, you know, the last three cards I could not find. I absolutely could not believe it. Maybe because the market's down. But and that's another thing too. I would say I started really hard, you know, going after the set when the market really took its, like, bellied out to the bottom. And I really think that's a cool thing too, because I do see obviously a lot of potential future with this set and value. However, I'm really no rush to get rid of this thing. I've already been approached by a couple people. Sorry guys, not looking to sell it. Maybe one day, but for now, I'm gonna just enjoy my 10s and kind of, I don't think I'll ever sell it. I don't know. For some people, like, I don't know. It just, every card has its story. It was a process. It was a journey to it all, and it was a lot of fun. And that's why I do this hobby. I think that's why a lot of people are in this hobby, just kind of having fun. But enough rambling on. So the question is, someone asked me is, here we go. The question is, someone asked me is, what is next? And I'm kind of going like, Oh boy, I don't know. I thought about Fossil because, well, and here's the kind of a problem too is, you know, I don't really want to do a set because it's easy to knock out. I really want to kind of dive into a set, kind of say I'm going to enjoy this process, but I'm not sure what I want to do. I do have a lot of the Fossils in 10s. I might kind of play around with Team Rocket, maybe first edition, maybe something. I actually might consider doing Prize Pack Series 1, a little modern action going on. But I've been kind of already working on that set, or not really set, but I've been working on collecting those kind of along the way. But I'm not really sure what's next. So, and that's kind of the next chapter, right? What's next and everything. But in the meantime, I am definitely going to take my time and really kind of decide what I want to do next. I thought about some Neos. I thought about Neo First Edition because that's a fun one. That one's quite challenging too. I definitely thought about Shadowless. Shadowless has its challenges too, but I don't know. Like I just did First Edition, and the only difference is really the stamp. So is it really something you kind of want to tackle? Someone mentioned why don't you do gray stamps, but that's just not for me, and that's okay. Some people they like it, some people they don't. But the question is, what's next? I gotta really figure that out, but. Excitingly, I was invited to CGC to do a video to broadcast the set to everyone. I'm very excited to do that. It's gonna be really a lot of fun. I never thought I'd ever kind of get recognized for this. So it's really cool. But that's really all I got. It's Easter weekend, so I'm looking to celebrate with my family. I hope everyone has a great Easter and collect on, guys. It's a lot of fun, and that's kind of why we all do this. I'm going to do some more videos here in the future. Taking some time off definitely helped me build up some new things I want to talk about, but it's done. It's officially done, and I can proudly announce that I completed the first ever Versus in CC10 set, and it's nice. It's nice to finally admit it. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is no race to get it done. You do it at your pace. You finish the race at your pace. There's no rush to get it done, but as always, guys, I hope everyone has a great Easter, and excited to meet all you guys at all the Collecticons and card parties. I will be at those, but tune in next time. I'm the Pole Father. The set is complete. We're moving forward. Let's go! 80861!